Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to make your little crayon 3D sculptures today. We're going to make kind of like a mini one, and I'm going to show you how to build it and paper mache it, and then in the next video you'll learn how to paint it. Alright, so in your sculpture basket you have a few different supplies here. You're going to start with the toilet paper roll. Now if you see a small one that's about the size of your hand, you can use that. If you see a big one that's much bigger than your hand, you're going to cut it in half with your scissors. So just take your scissors and cut it right down the middle and put the second one back, and you're going to grab your roll that you cut. Now we're going to make the top tip of the crayon and the bottom base of the crayon. So we need some cardboard. Now you might have some cardboard, thin cardboard in your basket. You might have some just really thick paper of different colors. It doesn't matter which one you grab. So I'm going to grab the small piece of cardboard first, and I'm going to make the crayon tip. Now what we're trying to do is we're making something called a cone. The cone is a form, kind of like a triangle, but it's rounded. So I'm going to take my little cardboard rectangle, and what I'm going to do is go to the top edges, the top corners, and I'm going to take them with my fingers, and I'm going to try and meet them together. Now when I meet them together, I have kind of like the form of a cone, but I need to tape this edge here. So I'm going to grab my masking tape and get a couple little pieces from it. And this tape is really easy to just rip. You can just go like this and use your nails to rip it. So I have a couple pieces here. I'm going to put them on my table like this so I have them ready. And then I'm going to take that cone and I'm going to seal up that edge. Okay, press it really good, 1, 2, 3. All right, so I've got the form of a cone, but I've got kind of like a weird edge on the end here. I can take my scissors and just cut the edge, the bottom edge of the cone, so it's like even all the way around. It's okay if it's not perfect. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to stick it right on top of my cardboard. Now it's a little bit bigger than my cardboard, so what I have to do with my masking tape is wrap the tape all the way around to kind of smooth it out a bit. So I can just take the edge of my tape here, and I'm going to start by just putting a few little short pieces to just hold it in place. So maybe just 2 or 3. And then I can start wrapping the tape around it. So it's kind of secure on there. Now I'm going to wrap the tape around it to kind of smooth out that little edge. So I can take my tape once I've found the end. There we go, Mrs. Vieter. Once I found the end here, I'm just going to wrap the tape around like this to make it nice and straight and smooth. And I can keep the tape right on the roll and just kind of move the roll around like this. So I'm not wrapping the whole crayon in tape, I'm just kind of wrapping it enough so that the cone is smooth on the edge and it doesn't fall off. So I'm going to really press that tape into the full form of the crayon. Okay, that's pretty good. Can maybe smooth it out a bit more with some more tape here because it's a little bit, still a little bit thicker than my cylinder here, my toilet paper roll. But that's up to you. I think I'm going to stop here and show you the next step. So the next step is to make the base of the cone. And how I do that really simply is I just take the extra scrap cardboard or thick paper, and I'm going to trace the bottom of my cone with a pencil, or not, the bottom of my cylinder with a pencil, or a marker is fine. And I'm just going to place this down, hold it with one hand, and I'm going to trace the circle with the other hand. Okay, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to take that circle now and just cut it out. Put my scraps back in the basket for the next person. And then I'm going to tape this down. Now, just like the cone, it's probably a good idea to get a couple little pieces to hold it in place. and then I can use tape to kind of seal up the holes and smooth it out a bit. Oops, came off. I need another piece of tape to hold it in place. Let me try that again. All right, so I'm going to take my tape now and wrap this around. Seal up all the holes. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Press it down, press the tape so it really sticks. And I think I'm good. I've got my crayon. All right, now that my crayon is built, now I'm going to get my paper mache. So I'm gonna put all my sculpture supplies back in my basket, and now it's time to go and grab my paper mache. Your paper mache is always gonna be in a bucket. Usually it'll have a blue lid, but it should say paper mache on it. You can make sure it's on a big tray, so in case you have any spills, they'll go onto the tray and not on your table. Okay, so paper mache is kind of like a really liquidy, really sticky glue. And how we use this is we use the recycled paper strips that are in your basket. There's a whole bunch of them. And what we do is we kind of just dip the paper in the glue and we wrap it around our whole form so it turns nice and solid, kind of like my crayon here is nice and solid. Okay, so I'm just gonna carefully dip this in. And now you're gonna see that a lot of glue is on here. I don't need this much. This is really important. Take your fingers and really squeegee the extra glue back into the tub so you don't have a big mess. Now I'm gonna wrap this around my crayon. And after I wrap it, this is really important, I have to smooth it with my hands. I don't want a whole bunch of lumps on my crayon when it dries. Okay, so that's one piece. I'm gonna go grab another piece and do the same thing. Dip it in, squeegee out the extra glue so I don't have too much on my crayon. Wrap it around my crayon and then smooth it with my hands, put some pressure on it. Okay, so you'll probably need maybe like 6 pieces of this paper to cover your whole crayon. So keep going until you don't see any more cardboard or tape left. So I see some on the bottom, I see some on the top. I have a couple more pieces that I need to do. All right, when you're done wrapping your crayon with the paper mache, you have to let it dry. You cannot paint it yet until it's dry. So you're going to put it on the sculpture cart or the sculpture area that Mrs. Buehner tells you to put it on. And then when it's dry next week, you'll be able to mix up your unique paint color and you'll be able to paint your crayon. So here's my crayon finished. You'll see in the next video how you mix up your unique crayon color and your little crayon label that you can put on there, okay? All right, I have a couple more spots I need to do and then I'm finished. Go ahead and keep paper macheing until you're done. Your hands are gonna be really sticky. Wash them when you're done at the sink.